Hello, good morning. It is 10 minutes past 8 in the AM. So I'm sitting down to edit this video and I'm thinking to myself, why is my audio so trash? I was meticulous, as you can see, about having the mic close to my mouth, and I made sure to turn it on. I didn't have it connected to my camera. So the audio quality in this is just going to be crap. I don't really want to refilm it because then it's not a true first impression, so I'm really sorry. If the audio bothers you, definitely click out because it's going to be like this for the remainder of the video. But if you still want to watch the content, work away. I dropped the ball there, sorry, but yeah, okay. Back to the shitty audio quality video. Bye. And I was sent this product during the week and I was going to put it to the test today, and I said, you know what, let's do it on camera. I heard Lisa mention, or I watched her mention, the new product launch on her Instagram stories, and my honest first thoughts were, gimmick, who needs that? But the more I've had time to sit and mull it over, it actually seems like it might be a super handy product. I don't know if you're like me. Sometimes I'll pack to go away for an overnight stay or a weekend stay, and I'll have packed immaculately. I'll have absolutely everything, all my makeup, all my outfits, underwear, pajamas, toothbrush. But on more than one occasion, I've forgotten to bring my brushes. What a nightmare. And I know, like they say, your fingers are the best tools, but I'm not used to using my fingers as tools for makeup. So often when I have to use my fingers, my makeup comes out looking like awful. So this might actually be a really handy thing to have for travel, but we'll see. If you haven't seen it, I'll show it to you now in a second. This is the Luna by Lisa Jordan 3-in-1 makeup brush, an angled brush for foundation and powder, a blending sponge for foundation and concealer, and a sculpting and defining brush for the eyes, and this RRP's at €15. So this is the component. I opened it yesterday. Myself and my sister were looking at it and trying to see what our thoughts are on it. While I haven't used it, my first impression will be the brush is so soft. It's synthetic fibres, so I'd imagine it doesn't soak up a huge amount of liquid product. The sponge, quite honestly, feels quite rough. And my first impression is I would have preferred to see a blending brush in here. And this brush here, the definer liner brow brush, looks like it might be nice too. So essentially it's like a 3-in-1 brush, and you unscrew whichever one you want to use. And Hilary and I were discussing, I reckon you could get the bones of a full face, a full basic face using this. Now if that middle part was a blender brush, you definitely get a full face. Right, so I guess we're going to start with foundation. Tiny bit of foundation. So the bristles are quite floppy, which feels unusual. However, it's doing a really good job of blending that foundation. I thought the handle might feel a bit cumbersome in the hand, but no, it's actually quite ergonomic. I'm surprised. So that's my foundation done. Yeah, really happy with how that brush worked. I think you can tell it worked really well to blend the foundation across my skin. Okay, now for the bit that I'm skeptical about, the sponge tip. Okay, it actually works. Back in your buska, Laura. The forte for this sponge is most certainly in the inner corner. I really struggle with sponges to get that inner corner section, and even brushes as well, but it blended that out there so easily for me. I'm going to go back in with the brush and see what it would be like to blend with the brush. I think, yeah, okay. I think the brush would work just fine for concealer. You would struggle to get it into inner corner, but for underneath the eyes, I think it would do the job just fine and dandy. In order to test the theory, how much of a face I could get done with this, I'm going to just take the foundation brush again, and I'm just going to wipe off the excess on a towel. And then I'm going to go in with my setting powder and that brush. Okay. I do like a lot of powder. You know what? That worked perfectly fine for powder. I'm going to try and bronze up my face a little bit just to bring a little bit more life to it. This bronzer is quite pigmented, so I need to be careful. Bronzer, just fine. I'm going to use blush, and it feels fitting to use the blush from the Luna palette, and the reason I didn't use the bronzer from it is, as you can see, it's all used. So I'll take a tiny bit of that, it's very pigmented. And using the corner of the brush, I'm going to take a little bit of the highlight. Now next up is brows. I do usually like a spoolie, but I'm not going to use one today because obviously we're trying to do the scenario that this is all I have to work with. So we'll see how we go. Okay, first impression is I have thin brows. Always have had, always will do. So this is a little bit thick for my brows. I need something that's a bit more, well, a lot more fine. Again, I reckon in a pinch this would be okay, but I definitely prefer a thinner brush. I'll show you an example of what I like to use and compare it to, yeah. The brush on the bottom is what I like to use and the top is the Luna. You can definitely tell there's a significant thickness difference there. I definitely make this work and it will be okay, but I'm going to just switch back to the brush I like for now because I need to look presentable today. Hello, I'm back. I just did my brows with my usual brow brush and spoolie, and I popped in a little bit of brow gel, and I'm not one of those gals who can get away with anything we want, but I like to put some sort of eyeshadow on, otherwise I just look ill. So I put a little bit of crease colour in, just a cool tone brown, into my crease around the outer corner and a tiny bit under my eyes, and now I'm going to go in with the angled brush again to see how we can get on with like a smudgy liner sort of moment. Oh yeah, that's much better. Yeah, that's very good. Much better for that purpose. First, so I'm just going to finish up my makeup. I'm going to pop on some mascara, a little bit of inner corner highlight and a lip product. I'll be right back to give you my final thoughts on this brush. Hey, makeup complete. I put on a little bit more blush because I felt like I looked a little bit washed out on this pale. Maybe it's just the studio lights, I don't know. Put on mascara, curl my lashes and put on just a pink lip gloss. Have to say, my final overarching thoughts, I am actually really impressed with this. I'm going to touch on a few little points. Okay, so price €15, I feel like that's very fair, especially considering I do feel like I could get the majority of a face done with just this one product. I really appreciate the softness of the bristles and the fact that this can be used for wet or dry product. As you saw, I used it for foundation, a little bit for concealer, powder, bronzer, blush and highlight. So Hilary, I was right, you could use it for all of them as long as you can wipe it in between. So say if you're away at an Airbnb or a hotel, just wipe it on a paper towel or a normal towel and that will do the job just fine. I can't speak to how this would wash, but I can't foresee any issues. I would just wash it like all my normal brushes and then pop it upside down to dry so none of the water dislodges any of the glue. Regarding this, same thing, I would just wash it the way I wash my sponges normally and let it dry upside down, and obviously the same for that brush. The only way this could be improved, I would say, would be if there was a blending brush in it, something that I could use to pop on a little bit of eyeshadow, and then I could actually do an actual full face using this, because the only brushes I had to reach in and use were the blender and obviously the eyebrow, but as I said, I could definitely get an eyebrow on using this brush. I just prefer a thinner brush head. So all in all, I would say this is a really good product. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it 1,000 times. From what I've seen and used from the Luna range thus far, Lisa Jordan does not put her name to bad shit. And obviously I can't speak to the longevity of this. It might fall apart in 2 weeks time, but from what I can see, it looks very sturdy. So yeah, is this a product you are interested in? What did you think of my findings? Do you think it's something that you would find handy? I definitely feel like this is a great addition to my arsenal, especially for traveling. So it gets the Laura's Views seal of approval for sure. If you want to purchase one for yourself, I will leave a link to it down below. If it's in stock, I believe it's sold out very quickly. Otherwise, it's available in pharmacies nationwide. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, or if you didn't enjoy it, give me a thumbs down. I appreciate any and all feedback. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye! Mwah.